take your coffee break with me. Come and take your coffee break with me. Come and take your coffee. Come and take your coffee. Come and take your coffee break with me.
Welcome back to Coffee Break with Candace. I hope you've had a wonderful week. I have another incredible guest, Claude Nogess. He is a chef, and he is going to share his story and also give us a recipe that we can enjoy at home for Mardi Gras, since we won't be able to meet in person this year.
I created this really fantastic uh, uh, king cake that's on a stick that I discovered to do from
Oh,
cinnamon
it's
roll.
that's awesome. That
And
is
so
awesome.
and so for people that have kids that are from Louisiana or people that want to display the history of Mardi Gras across the country, when they see this, they have the opportunity of making that individual king cake on a stick with cinnamon rolls. It's the same thing. It's just that it's the instant and quick way of accomplishing the same goal.
Oh, that's so fabulous. I'm so into that. That's awesome.
And one of the things that we have that's really a big issue for us in terms of us being Louisianians is that we, under all circumstances, will fight to say that Mardi Gras began in New Orleans, and it didn't.
Okay.
Mardi Gras began in Mobile, Alabama. It never. It That's where it all started in 1764.
Really? That's
And so,
interesting.
yeah, and so we had the battle of the French descent. We had the battle because, as Mardi Gras is on a Tuesday every year,
Yes.
and everybody drink and party and have a great time, and then it's Ash Wednesday on Wednesday morning, and it happens every year. So you party, you drink, you eat, and you have a great time. And then I know as a little boy, I would end up at church being the altar boy the following morning. After having all the great time of alcohol and food and seeing my parents have such a great time with my aunts and uncles. And so it's just amazing how you turn from having a huge party
Hmm.
to this spiritual being the following morning, you know? And
I bet
so,
you have some stories.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, sure, absolutely. And so it's one of those things where it's just so effective of understanding what that culture is. And all of this is based out of France.
Oh, okay.
In France in the 1800s, they used to have like a small gathering right before they went and got their ashes. And it was a small gathering. The United States decided that they wanted to have hundreds of thousands of people all on the street, you know?
Hmm.
And so it's just amazing what happens. And so the actual king cake is also celebrated. And what basically happens with that is that we used to embed the little baby, but because of we've had children that have choked on, and so now in New Orleans they've taken away the concept of having the baby in the actual king cake.
So why did they do that in the first place? Have the baby in the cake?
Because what basically happened is that in the French culture they would have very small intimate parties at the houses, and whoever got the doll would be the person that would have the next party at a neighboring
Oh,
house.
okay.
And
Oh,
so it would
okay.
and so it would go day to day, week to week until the Mardi Gras season was over with, and then everybody would kneel and get their ashes and determine what this spiritual season is going to be before Easter.
So
So
interesting.
absolutely, absolutely, and so it's been a great thing. And I'm from New Orleans originally. Vita's from Baton Rouge, and so we have the same concept in terms of partying and having a great time.
Hmm.
The Mardi Gras season is an excellent season. It's an excellent time of the year, and as you know, it's been canceled this year.
Yes.
And so, with that in mind, there are going to be a lot of people. If you've seen some of the articles on NOLA.com, you'll see where they have a lot of houses that have been turned into floats at the front
I
door of the house.
saw that. That looks so amazing.
Yes, they turn those into floats, and one of the reasons is to just keep the momentum of having
Mm.
fun. So, with that in mind, it's just an awesome thing, and I've have been away from home for, I would say, over 40 years. I'm a Dillard graduate. And after I left Dillard, I've traveled all over the world working for the actual federal government. I work for the Pentagon now.
Oh, are you serious?
And so,
Oh,
yeah, and
that's
so I
so
didn't put it,
cool.
I didn't put it in there. I used the Defense Health Agency because I didn't want, everybody to say, oh wow, he's a Pentagon employee. I wonder what's going on there.
Hmm.
So I usually don't discuss it, but for you, I can tell you, yeah.
Okay.
And
I just
so,
think it's amazing. Like, that is super cool. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
yes, yes, yes. And so I work for the actual Pentagon, and so I'm here in the Fort Sam area,
Hmm.
and it's a great thing. But I'm about to retire, and I'm going to go into this cooking show thing permanently and do a little bit of part-time healthcare consulting.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. So you have this serious day job, and you do all, manage a team and do all this analysis. But so when does the chef hat that you have on, which I love, when does that come out and you do the cooking?
yeah, and so I have a scheduled show on Wednesdays and Sundays, and I'm also working on a cookbook.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
Wow.
so, yeah, and so I'm working on a cookbook. My agent and the publishing company is in Houston, Texas.
Hmm.
And I'm also with Vita. We're going to start doing some of the pop-up um, markets where we're selling. I'm going to be selling stuffed shrimp and stuffed crabs at these food festivals here in San Antonio. So I start that in March.
That's exciting. Now, have
So
you always loved to cook?
I've always cooked. Just to give you some history in my cooking, I'm not sure if you know of a restaurant called Dookie Chase in New Orleans.
I've heard of
Uh,
it.
you heard of it? Okay.
Hmm.
My dad was the chef there.
Oh, wow.
And so my dad had nine brothers and they all were chefs.
All of them were chefs?
All of them were chefs.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so
Amazing.
yeah, and so I've been taught at an early age to learn how to cook. And my dad would one of the things I always tell people in the interviews is that when we used to come home, and you know how you come home and dinner's not ready, it's ready at 5, but you get home at 3:15, but your mom wants you to eat something until dinner's
Yes.
ready. My dad used to make a toast bread peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and he would swirl chocolate on it with marshmallows on top.
Mm.
So we learn at an early age that how you plate a food is very, very important. How you present food is very, very important. And the art and science of the culinary is the significance of that plate, because you could serve chicken and waffles and it just looks so great.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute you drizzle that syrup and you start to put the powdered sugar, that's
Mm.
when you get the culinary of it. And some people love the powdered sugar and the syrup on their chicken.
Oh,
So
put it all on there, if you ask
just put it.
me.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. And so it has just been a reality check of identifying what that culinary is and how I came to this existence. I've been cooking for years with my family and friends. And I was sick last June with COVID.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh
And
my goodness.
I had COVID so bad, doctor, that I was every 10 steps I would make, I would have to literally sit down and use the incentive barometer.
Oh my goodness.
And one of the things that I'm experiencing now is uh, post-COVID cognitive disorder.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Yes, and I also have loss of hearing, and I also have
Wow.
memory loss. But I've had all these different things after COVID. And let me tell you, I got up, doctor, one morning and I said, you know what? I've been cooking for the nation. I've lived all over the place and I've had parties and cooking for everyone. I said, why don't I share some of these experiences with people on the
Mm-hmm.
masses? And I just decided, I said, you know what? You know, all the drama and the craziness that we go through at work.
Yes.
And so, yes, the drama and the craziness. And so I just decided, I said, you know what? It's all about me now. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to start doing some things that I would like to do for me and to understand what that concept is internally, to do things that I love to do things that's going to bring me some good mental health, do things that allow me to internally meditate with me and understand that, hey, this
Mm,
is my gift. And I tell people, it's important that we learn in life that we share our gift.
so true.
And your gift is your gift. I have nothing to do with your gift, but I could celebrate it. And the cooking thing for me brings me such a level of peace and enjoyment. And so the show focuses more on how to produce meals within 15 to 30 minutes.
Oh, that's my kind of, yeah, show. That's my kind of meal.
Yes, because we're working every day and we have kids to take care of and spouses to take care of, and it is more effective for us to create a meal that's going to be a benefit and value, that's tasty, that's beautiful, that will allow us to do things within 30 minutes and not spend 2 or 3 hours on it.
Absolutely.
That is the purpose and the fame of Claude's Kitchen Cooking Show. We allow people to celebrate the culinary and art and science of food, the taste of food. And I always tell people at my shows, you know, from my heart to your heart, from my kitchen to your kitchen.
Mm,
And I know that God has tremendously blessed me with this opportunity to share that wealth of culinary with others. One of the things I'm going to do with my next cookbook, not the one that's coming up in March, my next cookbook, I'm going to focus more on the South American foods. I've been in South America for 8 years.
oh, wow. Okay.
And so I'm going to do some of the South American dishes and also some of the French dishes. And so that's where I'll be with my next cookbook. So that'll be my next project for probably uh, calendar year 22.
Okay. So tell us, so this cookbook that you do have, the first one that's coming out, what are
Mhm.
you focusing on recipe wise in that cookbook?
Yes, and so in that cookbook, I'm looking more on the Cajun and Creole aspect.
Okay.
I will have entrees in that cookbook. I'll have about maybe 17, 18 entrees to include stuffed shrimp, stuffed crabs. How do you do okra gumbo? How do you do
Mm,
Creole filet gumbo? I'll have some pastries, some of the appetizer pastries that you make, like for example, the crab boils and things of that nature. I also have drinks and desserts.
mm,
And then I'll have po' boy selections. Like one of the things that we love in New Orleans is to have the po' boy selections.
mm-hmm.
And so I'll have shrimp po' boys, I'll have roast beef po' boys, crab meat po' boys, and I will teach the individuals, teach my audience or my community how to focus on making po' boy sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
And so the book will have a total of 50 recipes. The publisher is asking for 50, but I'm going to do an additional 2 recipes and call it a bonus
Mm-hmm.
for the book sales. I'll start having book signings, probably sometime, a virtual book signing, sometime probably in April.
Oh, congratulations. That's exciting.
Yes. I also have an American Lifestyle magazine that features me on a monthly basis.
Oh, wow. That's great.
And I also have someone that has asked me to move into a commercial zone kitchen in downtown San
Oh, that's
Antonio.
great. Uh-huh.
And so I need to follow up with that concept. moving forward. But the actual cooking thing has been absolutely outstanding.
So, what are you cooking for us today with our theme of Mardi Gras at home?
Yes. And so what I'm doing today is showing you the Claude's Kitchen instant way of doing a king cake, a New Orleans style king cake. Okay. Now, the normal ingredients in a king cake, which are flour, vanilla, milk, and everything, it's kind of like one of those things where you're like, hey, it takes a good 45 minutes to complete. But what I'm doing today, since Claude's Kitchen cooking show focus is more on 15 to 30-minute meals,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a rendition of what that looks like in terms of a king cake. Having the ability of coming home and say, hey, you know what? I want to make a nice treat for my hubby, or the hubby could say, hey, I want to make a nice treat for my wife today. We want something that's sweet and tasty that has a
Mm.
representation of Mardi Gras. Or it could be a family member that say, hey, look, you know what? I have 3 kids and I want each of them to experience Mardi Gras in any part of the United States, and they could look at what that entails. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you from an instant perspective how I have accomplished making a king cake and having a great celebration as well.
Okay,
So,
awesome.
so yes, absolutely. And so I'm gonna move the camera down some so you can kind of see what I am doing here. I think you can see it here.
Yes,
You can see it?
I can.
Okay, good. Okay, good. And so right now I have just the flaky, the Pillsbury Grand flaky biscuits, and those are the cinnamon roll biscuits. When you're doing a king cake, you could have a king cake that has cinnamon rolls. It could have cream cheese. It could have apple. It could have lemon. It could have a variety of those ingredients. I'm gonna go ahead and I purchased some long sticks here, and I got these. You can find these at any neighboring grocery store. I'm going to use these sticks because I'm going to make a king cake on the stick. And so I'm going to take this stick, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to spray the baking pan. And once I spray the baking pan, I'm going to take this stick here, and I'm going to allow myself to take 3 of these out of the container. And I'm going to roll these on the stick. And I want you to see how wonderful that looks. Once you roll these on a stick, you have the ability of, from an instant perspective, I'm going to take the stick, and I'm going to just put it inside of the cinnamon roll. And I'm going to pocket these or stack these accordingly. And I just wanted to show you, like I said, it's a very quick way. It's the same ingredients that you use in a homemade king cake. All right, and so you're gonna stack these so you could have those like this. Okay, they're gonna look just like this, and you're gonna lay them in the baking pan. Okay, just like this, and when you lay them in the baking pan, you're gonna bake those for approximately 15 to 20 minutes until they get very brown and they are a nice size. Now, the art and science of the king cake is the icing and the various flavors of the actual king cake. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you just a minute here. I'm going to go ahead and use some of these whites to just make sure for cleanliness purposes, I can wash my hand here. All right. And so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make the icing. The icing is very, very important. I'm going to use just a teaspoon of the vanilla. This is Mexico vanilla. Mexico vanilla is absolutely amazing in terms of flavoring. I'm also going to have a cream cheese flavored icing. And so I'm going to go ahead. I purchased an 8-ounce package of the of the cream cheese. And I'm going to include the cream cheese with the actual Mexican vanilla. Now I'm going to get some powdered sugar. And what you want with the powdered sugar is approximately about a cup of the powdered sugar. I'm going to use a cup of the powdered sugar. And I may include just a cup, just a cup and a half of the powdered sugar. All right. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just the hand mixer and I'm going to put the hand mixer on and then I'll go ahead and just mix the, here it is. We'll be able to see them. So this is the cream cheese icing that I'm making and you can make it. I love the cream cheese icing in biscuits. You can use it however you'd like. It's such a wonderful flavor.
Mm-hmm. It
So
looks
now I
good.
have, now I have the cream cheese icing, and that is a cup and a half of confectionery powdered sugar, 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so I'm going to clean up just a little bit so I could not have the sugar everywhere. All right. And so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you how that looks, how the king cake looks. It's baked. And so I baked it for 20 minutes. And so now I have a rendition of what that would look like. So this is the king cake on a stick that you have. Here it is on the stick. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take the icing and I'm going to put it on the cake. And what makes it the king cake is the different colors that represents Mardi Gras and the different colors of how it brings the actual culinary to that. And again, this is an easy, instant way of doing a king cake, guys. If you'd like to have a full representation of making a king cake homemade, there are also recipes out there for you to do that. And then, so what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some sprinkles on them. And I'm going to put some yellow sprinkles. I'm also going to use the green sprinkles. And I'm also going to use the purple. All right. And so now you have a full recognizable king cake that you can do for your family members. And it's a very instant way and quick way of doing the actual king cake. Again, if you wanted to do something that was that you could do that was homemade, it has the same representation. It's just made with flour dough. But this is absolutely amazing and absolutely gives the representation of the actual king cake.
It looks good. I love the sprinkles made me so happy when you put those on there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you know the sprinkles add a little bit of the taste and touch as it relates to the king cake and all of the ingredients. There are various ways that you could do the instant king cakes to support the celebration of Mardi Gras. But that's what I've done today. And as you see here, it matches the colors of my Mardi Gras uniform.
Yes, which I absolutely love. Your whole ensemble is fabulous.
Yes.
Like everybody should have one of those, Claude. I'm just saying.
Well, thank you. Yes, everyone should have a Mardi Gras costume, should I say, to identify the celebration of Mardi Gras. As you know, again, I'm from New Orleans, and this is what we do on a yearly basis. It's important that we do that on a yearly basis. So I love it. But I just wanted to show you guys again. This is the Claude's Kitchen instant king cake that I've created, and it's just one of the great things that you can do for your family. You can do it for your friends. You can do it for your actual coworkers. Okay, all of your loved ones. Yes.
It
So
looks
yeah, no,
delicious.
that's thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Yes.
We do a segment called Who Said That, where I give you a quote and a clue. And if you can tell me who said that, I will donate a modest amount to the charity of your choice. So this quote is, anything made with love, bam, it's a beautiful meal. Anything made with love, bam, it's a beautiful meal. So you only get one guess. So if you need the clue, I'm happy to give it to you.
Let me see.
And this is a chef because I like to go along with the theme. This is chef that does
Chef
Creole.
Emerald. Chef Emerald.
Yes, that's, oh my goodness, congratulations, that's awesome. So he used to say that on his cooking show. Bam! Like I love that.
Damn, Chef Emerald. So Chef Emerald is my hero.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
Man,
awesome.
oh my God, when I tell you, I look at for on New Year's Eve, I usually look at his cookbooks just to get some idea of some festive rendition of how to create food in all different Asian and Creole ways.
Any final words before we wrap up? The time has
Well,
flown by.
yeah, time has flown by, and so I have enjoyed the show, and I have enjoyed Candace. I have enjoyed you. Thank you for such a wonderful blessing.